Hi, my name is David and welcome to Wigan SENDIASS. In this session we're going to be offering some guidance and advice around the topic of preparing for adulthood, otherwise known as PFA. Most of the following applies specifically to those who have an education, health and care plan, and preparing for adulthood would form part of an annual review. Remember that an EHCP can stay active with a young person until 25 years old who remain in education or training. It's not too soon to begin to think about preparing for adulthood. To start to prepare and put some things in place will be of help later. Formal conversations will start in Year 9 and should involve the person concerned. There are different elements to preparing for adulthood and I shall go through each one in turn. SEND regulations state that from Year 9 onwards, the local authority has a duty to ensure that the annual review meeting of the EHCP considers what provision is required to assist the child or young person in preparation for adulthood and independent living. The SEND Code of Practice also states that planning must be centred around the individual and explore their aspirations and abilities, what they want to be able to do when they leave post-16 education or training, and what support will be needed to achieve their ambition. Local authorities should ensure that children and young people have the support they need to participate fully in this planning and to make decisions. Transition planning must be built into the revised EHC plan and should result in clear outcomes being agreed that are ambitious and stretching and which will prepare a young person for adulthood. Apart from the young person themselves, who else should be involved in the planning? Any staff at the current setting involved in support so that they can advise on what they think might be helpful or needed. Someone from the new school or setting if a move is due to happen. This will help give an understanding of what support is available and assist decision making. And any other known professional that can provide useful advice around SEND and what might help to support the transition to adulthood. The SEND Code of Practice also states that where young people have an EHC plan, local authorities should consider the need to provide a full package of provision and support across education, health and care that covers 5 days a week, where that is appropriate to meet the young person's needs. There are a number of routes that need to be considered to help somebody preparing for adulthood. Education or employment, independent living and housing options, community participation and positive relationships, and good health. So let's consider each one of those in turn. Firstly, education or employment. It is UK law that every young person must remain in full-time education or training until the age of 18. Part of the preparing for adulthood approach is to explore further education or employment options for young people. Where there is an interest in continuing in education or training after Year 11, what kind of setting would be best needs to be explored. Other considerations would be to explore supported apprenticeships, traineeships and internships, which would be based in a work-based learning environment. It may be that there is a wish to look to get into work, or maybe there's an idea and skill set to set up in business. Bear in mind that the local authority stops being responsible if and when attending university, leaving education and having no intention of returning to learning, starting in full-time employment or self-employment, and moving to live within a different local authority. Secondly, independent living and housing options. The whole idea of independent living is to give some control over life choices subject to the Mental Capacity Act 2005. Even then, there is support available to ensure best interests are considered. When someone starts to express a wish to live independently, Their needs and safety are essential considerations. Some will need to support to live independently, and this must be tailored to individual needs. Next, we take a look at community participation and positive relationships. Everyone has the right to access positive relationships. Part of preparing for adulthood should look at support to sustain positive relationships. Ways to encourage this are to encourage community engagement, including volunteering, to help ensure the person's voice is heard, to support with trips into the local community, for example, local shops and cinemas, to support with life skills, for example, accessing public transport and road safety, and to support to understand about healthy relationships or being a friend. The final aspect we're going to look at in terms of preparing for adulthood is good health. It's important that everybody maintains good health and knows what to do to access help about health concerns. Begin to explore how to access annual health checks through the NHS due to having SEND needs. Find out what other local services are available to support you and again how to access these. It would be a good idea to speak to your GP or a specialist medical service to explore what support would be available locally in preparing for adulthood. The educational setting should also be able to act as a signposting service for good support. Thank you for watching.